Supermodel Christie Brinkley found herself in the eye of a particularly devastating hurricane. In this video, we'll unravel the often painful intricacies of her love life that left her facing the tidal wave of a divorce settlement, one that erased millions from her fortune. Facts First presents Her Divorce Cost Her Whole Fortune. See Christie Brinkley now. A living legend. With her radiant smile and iconic all-American beauty, Christie Brinkley quickly became one of the most successful models of her generation. Her record-breaking appearance on 3 consecutive covers of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue in 1979, 80, and 81 cemented her status as a true fashion icon. Despite quickly becoming a household name following those early successes, she didn't stop at modeling. Over the years, she skillfully navigated her way into various other domains, including acting, entrepreneurship, and activism. From gracing over 500 magazine covers and becoming the face of CoverGirl for an impressive 25 years, to trying her hand at acting on Broadway and in TV series, Christie's versatility and drive are truly remarkable. She's been married 4 times, and each marriage unfortunately ended in divorce. These failed relationships have significantly influenced her views on love and commitment, leading her to renounce the idea of marriage altogether. 4 failed marriages. Despite the image of youthful vitality and optimism that Christie Brinkley radiates, she's lived a life rich in experiences. One crucial aspect of this is her history with love. The iconic supermodel has been married 4 times to Jean-Francois Alaux, Billy Joel, Richard Taubman, and Peter Cook. But despite these past heartaches, she remains hopeful and open to love. Her journey began in 1973 at age 19 when she said "I do" to French artist Jean-Francois Alaux. Despite a marriage that spanned nearly a decade, the couple parted ways in 1981 without welcoming any children. The next chapter of her romantic tale began in 1985 with none other than the legendary Uptown Girl singer Billy Joel. Their love story was soon blessed with the arrival of their daughter, Alexa Ray Joel, in December of that same year. Despite their divorce in 1994, Christie and Billy have remained good friends, often gathering around the piano during Christmas for cheerful sing-alongs, a tradition that Christie cherishes deeply. Love found her again shortly after her split from Billy. Christie tied the knot with Richard Taubman in December of 1994, and their union resulted in the birth of her second child, Jack Paris Brinkley Cook, in June of 1995. Sadly, their marriage ended when Jack was just 2 months old. In 1996, Christie married her 4th husband, Peter Cook, who subsequently adopted Jack, resulting in Jack adopting the surname Brinkley Cook. Their family expanded with the birth of Christie's last child, model Sailor Brinkley Cook, in July of 98. Despite the longevity of their marriage, the longest of Christie's so far, she and Peter ultimately couldn't make it work. Here's a closer look at her 4 exes. Jean-Francois Alaux. A French artist, Alaux was Christie's first. He's currently the associate professor in the Department of Art and Design at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, with his artwork featuring in many prestigious publications over the years. Billy Joel. Undoubtedly the most famous of Christie's ex-husbands, Joel is a legendary musician known for hits like Piano Man and New York State of Mind. Their daughter Alexa Ray followed in her father's footsteps, becoming a singer who's even performed duets with her father at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Richard Taubman. Taubman, a real estate developer, proposed to Christie even before her divorce from Joel was finalized. Beyond his primary profession, he's also known for his photography and singing. Peter Halsey Cook. An architect by profession, Cook was Christie's last husband to date. Their marriage, her longest, resulted in the birth of Sailor Brinkley Cook, who's followed her mother's footsteps into modeling. Despite their glamorous wedding, which Billy Joel attended, the couple is not close today. The settlement that cost her millions. The bitter feud between Christie Brinkley and her now ex-husband Peter Cook came to a dramatic end in 2012, following a prolonged and public custody battle over their 2 children. The conclusion of their dispute marked the end of a relationship rife with animosity, culminating in a late-night settlement agreement. Their marital strife had made headlines in 2008 when Cook admitted to having an affair with an 18-year-old assistant. The ensuing divorce was particularly nasty, with accusations and counter-accusations from both sides. Brinkley alleged Cook to be a deadbeat dad and accused him of sending aggressive emails. Meanwhile, Cook claimed Brinkley was an attention-seeking egomaniac using the court system to garner publicity. especially coinciding with her Broadway debut in the musical Chicago. This war of words between the former couple reached a tipping point in November 2012 when disputes flared over seemingly minor issues such as small sums of money and rude emails. These arguments culminated in a trial averted at the 11th hour following the advice of a Suffolk judge who urged the parties to settle their differences for the sake of their children. The final resolution was bittersweet, with both parties releasing sharp statements. Brinkley emphasized on her Facebook page that she had moved on from the moment she found out about Cook's infidelity. She further lamented the expense and inefficacy of the legal agreements that were supposed to protect her, pointing out they had failed to shield her from character assassination and extortion attempts. She also expressed relief at finally establishing boundaries and securing provisions to deal with email bullying, verbal and emotional abuse. In contrast, Cook's attorney claimed that Cook was completely vindicated, accusing Brinkley of having brought a meritless lawsuit against Cook for the sole purpose of causing him pain and suffering. Despite these opposing narratives, the settlement did address a key area of dispute, the co-parenting of their children. An agreement was reached to ensure all communications between the pair were in written form and monitored, reducing the possibility of further verbal clashes. The settlement agreement cost Brinkley heavily in monetary terms and emotionally, a cost she hopes will not have been in vain. She expressed the hope that her ordeal might serve as a template for courts to protect other victims of narcissistic abuse, thus sparing them from the lengthy, costly, and emotionally draining trials she had to endure. While the battle was over, the scars remained. Following the settlement, both Brinkley and Cook moved on from their tumultuous relationship, Brinkley with her role in Chicago and Cook getting remarried. She's done with marriage. After 4 marriages, Brinkley has firmly declared that she is finished with the institution, soured by her previous experiences. It was her 4th marriage with Peter Cook that seems to have prompted Brinkley's avowed end to her marital journey. The couple's divorce, as we've established, was acrimonious, driven by Cook's affair with his teenage assistant. This betrayal seems to have deeply affected Brinkley, who declared unequivocally, "I would never get married again." In a 2015 interview with The Week, reflecting on her sentiment about her failed marriages, Brinkley humorously suggested that if she were to design a perfume based on her feelings about marriage, it would aptly be named Stinks. This tongue-in-cheek comment revealed the level of her disillusionment and suggested a decided close to this chapter of her life. Since then, Brinkley appears to have closed the door on marriage, choosing instead to focus on her individual journey. Now it's time to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Christie Brinkley's decision to abandon the idea of marriage? Let us know in the comments section below.